Like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
From China to climate and covered, does Australia really care for the Pacific? April 30, 2022, 5.00 Save login, register or subscribe to save articles for later. Share normal text size, larger text size, very large text size 19. View all comments in the debacle of Canberra's handling of the security agreement with China just signed by Solomon Islands Prime Minister Manasseh Sejavere. One revealing outcome has gone largely unnoticed. Bad enough that Australia's intelligence community can't tell us exactly when it knew about Sejavere's plans. Or that United States President Joe Biden had to step in and send his top Indo-Pacific advisor, Kurt Campbell, to go and wave a big stick in Oneira. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang and Solomon Islands Prime Minister Manasseh Sejavere in Beijing in 2019 credit AP, but for Campbell to announce the US would send a hospital ship to boost the country's lagging COVID-19 vaccinations was a devastating rebuke to Scott Morrison's government. After 2 years of talk about helping the Pacific fight the pandemic, there has never been a more important time for Australia's Pacific step up as we all face these massive challenges, Morrison told the G20 in March 2020. The Solomon Islands still has only 20.5% of its 700,000 people double-dosed. A new wave of infections has taken off. Papua New Guinea's vaccination rate is a dire 2.9% among its population of perhaps 9 million. No one is exactly sure of that, as the last census was in 2011. Vanuatu, to the south of the Solomons, is a lot better with 38.5% double-dosed. These three nations, often patronizingly called Australia's backyard, are our inner circle of neighbours along with Timor-Leste and Indonesia. Further south, New Zealand shares greater strategic interest in Fiji, Tonga and Samoa, which all have double vaccination rates above 70%. It is an extraordinary lapse that these three Melanesian nations, generally regarded as Australia's area of responsibility by its strategic partners, have been left so unprotected. Sure, Papua New Guinea has immense logistical and cultural barriers to reach its inland population. But the Solomon Islands and Vanuatu should have been an early focus to achieve a high level of protection. All but their deepest bush villages would be accessible to joint medical teams operating from Royal Australian Navy ships. When the election dust settles, Canberra needs a thorough review of Australia's involvement in the Pacific. We are yet to see what results from Sejavere's deal with China. He promises there will be no Chinese military base. But he and other regional leaders have seen that one sure way to get Australia's attention is to play the China card. If our response is just shrill alarm and external security measures, we are falling into a trap. Rather than trying to keep China out, which will not happen, Australia should be demonstrating our commitment to Melanesians, concentrating on human development. A belated step up on COVID-19 would be one thing. A lot of hard infrastructure can be left to China. Labor's promise to review and expand seasonal worker and other Pacific labor schemes is overdue. Senate hearings this year heard of abuse, a dozen islanders crammed into single hostel rooms and charged $150 a week each, labor hire firms hitting them with dubious charges. Resources to properly police the schemes are lacking. Indeed, visa threats have been wielded to stop workers complaining. Rather than regulate, Agriculture Minister David Littleproud recently got the Morrison cabinet to agree to a new agricultural visa, to bring in Southeast Asians with even less protection. When it works well, and it mostly does, Pacific seasonal work is two-way grassroots aid. Our growers get hard workers to pick their crops. Islanders send funds home for their children's education, build cyclone-proof houses, or start small businesses. Littleproud's scheme would be a drop in the ocean for Southeast Asia and lead to persistent exploitation scandals. It is a strategic own goal. Morrison has spent big to block China from key telecom infrastructure $200 million for the Coral Sea fiber optic cables linking PNG, Solomons and Australia. $1.9 billion for Telstra's takeover of Digicel's regional mobile networks. Will Telstra be offering better, cheaper services to customers in PNG, Fiji or Vanuatu. And then what content will be carried? For many villagers, their smartphone is the main or only media of news, opinion, and entertainment. But both Coalition and Labor still look to conventional broadcasting, delivering an Australian-made message. Labor wants to allocate the ABC an extra $8 million a year to resume the broadcasts drastically curtailed when Radio Australia stopped shortwave services in 2017, with its frequencies then taken by China, and in 2014 when the Coalition withdrew the $25 million a year,